Welcome to the PCS Edventures Educator Spotlight Series. In today's sponsored feature story, we're exploring how students are planting seeds of success with Dirt Camp and hunting for treasure with Pirate Camp. All hands-on curriculum from PCS Edventures. We caught up with STEM teacher Sarah Pimley of Idaho City, where she's taking the classroom outside and across the high seas. What first drew you to this program? And then tell me, what was your experience when you did receive it and everything that was in there with all the different materials?
Yeah, the camp was actually initiated with the prior STEM teacher that got it for us through a grant that she had, and she had me implement it as a summer camp over the summer before I took over the STEM role position. She had actually gotten several camps, and she goes, "Oh, it came in. Can you come down to PCS Edventures and pick it up?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, no problem." She goes, "Bring your truck." I said, "What?" I said, "Okay." And I had a divider between my canopy and the bed, and we managed to Tetris it all in. It was amazing. I felt like Santa Claus at Christmas, packing the whole truck up with all the boxes, and then got it to school, and I labeled them box 1 of 2 for Dirt Camp and 1 of 1 for Dirt Camp, and got them all organized and went through the material and started getting everything lined up for summer camp that summer.
That's a fun story. I hadn't heard that one before. Usually they arrive on, at somebody's school, and then I'm talking to you actually got to go to the warehouse and pick everything up.
Yeah.
You got it. You started unpacking it. How did you actually incorporate the teaching instructions, or how did you modify things? How did you actually just get started?
I got started with looking at our summer camp schedule. That summer I was doing a couple different sessions. We were organizing between sports camps and church camps up in our area, and we found time that we wanted to do the survivor camp, the dirt camp, and the classics camp. And then we saw how it mixed with our program. The great thing about our school is we have an ICOE property, which is the Idaho Center for Outdoor Education. So our kids are very into getting outside, getting into the dirt, getting dirty. So I really looked through that, what age group I was going to have at what time, which pieces. Our camp was either 4 or 5 days long. I don't remember. So some of it I had to condense and kind of take out and modify a little bit here and there. And we did a lot of it during the summer camp program. And then when we started implementing during the school year, our gardening theme for the end of the school year, I brought in some of those parts that we hadn't used yet and brought them in and intermixed them with our gardening club and our gardening talks and our agricultural spin that we had for the whole school at the end of it.
When you did start implementing it, I did see some of those pictures, the cute kids out in the garden. Tell me about those moments. Tell me about some of those pictures, especially that you sent, and some of those aha moments that these kids are having. Not only is it an engaging activity, I mean, they've got their hands in the dirt, like they're having fun.
Yeah, the biggest thing, and especially right now, I'm bringing Dirt Camp back with my preschool through 4th graders right now, and we're starting to talk about the dirt and soil science and what's coming alive under the ground right now, because we have not seen the dirt since about Halloween, middle of November-ish. So it's been a while since we've gotten down and played with something other than snow. So it's been a lot of fun. They just start having these, "Oh, yeah, we haven't seen the ground in a while. What has the ground been doing while we haven't been able to see it? What have the animals been doing? Have they been hibernating? Have they been staying warm enough? What have they been eating?" And just having those talks and we've been talking about the fusiform body shape that the animals have to help burrow and tunnel through all the dirt. And just now we can start cleaning up our flower beds because we can get to them now, and they get in there and they start digging around in the dirt, and we start kind of bringing back those plants that we have and looking deeper at the seeds. And in one of my pictures, the cat grass that comes with the kits, I decided to put a little spin on it. We actually put the soil in with a pantyhose, which, trying to introduce a kid to what a pantyhose is, they don't know what a pantyhose is. They're like, "What's a pantyhose?" I said, "It's a big sock, essentially." And we planted the cat grass in there. We would segment it like a caterpillar, and then it would grow out of the top of the caterpillar. So we'd make these woolly looking caterpillar long animals that the kids got to see grow and sprout under our grow lights and everything. And that was a lot of fun, that the kids got to build their own little grass animal shape. Kind of like, you could think of it like a chia pet. You know, it's a modern day chia pet that the kids got to play with. And the kids, that's one thing that I love about our schools. They are very inquisitive, and they start putting pieces together. I mean, my kindergartners and I just this week, we were talking about the pupils of an eye and the worms under the ground. Why are their pupils so dark, and why don't they have much color to their eye, and what's the function and what's the structure, and talking about the cross-cutting concept of all those things, that adaptations that they have to have under the ground to live and survive.
It's super fun. Yeah, it sounds like you've incorporated some of the stuff, some of the materials from PCS, but then also come up with a lot of your own fun things. I love the analogy to the chia pet. So what impact have you observed with STEM education? What impact has it had on your students?
We're actually a STEM designated school. We're one of maybe 15 now in the state of Idaho that have that designation from the Board of Education. The kids, they are seeing now, especially as our kids have been getting older, and last year, I believe it was, we were able to give our first little STEM diploma to our high school students. And they're seeing the careers and everything is driven by a STEM attribute of some sort. When you're looking at your smartphone or you're trying to do stuff on your computer, if you don't have a little bit of a grasp on that science and computer science and technology and stuff, it gets to start to be a struggle. But the kids, they love the 21st century cross-cutting concepts. Our kids, they're learning and they're understanding at a young age that they have to learn those collaboration skills, critical thinking, and being able to communicate with not only their peers, but adults and older students to help convey their ideas and just to be able to think and process things like an engineer.
And what are some of those lifelong skills that they will take with them? Even some of the things that these little kids have done, and even with Dirt Camp or any of that.
The collaboration and communication, I think, is a great thing when they're talking about what they're seeing, what they're observing, their notices and wonders of what's going on, and being able to communicate and convey their ideas and their questions to people. I think it's a great skill for them to have when they get into the workforce and when they get into even their older grade levels, being able to succeed and just kind of live. Kids have a hard enough time communicating just on the phone because they're used to doing it via text nowadays, which, I mean, just being able to get in front of even a group of one or two people and being able to communicate I feel like it's a very powerful skill for kids to have now, because so many kids are anxious and they're nervous about talking in front of people. And if you go in for a job interview, you don't feel comfortable and you can't communicate in your interview, you're not going to get the job.
What was your favorite part about the Dirt Camp? And then why would you recommend it to other colleagues? Why would you encourage them to start implementing maybe this program or something similar? What were some of your favorite parts?
One of my favorite parts that the kids really got a good feel for, seeing that math and using a ruler doesn't just have to be for a math assignment. When we took that milk, I believe they referred to it as a mud milkshake. You put the layers of the soil and the clay and all those layers and you shake it up, and then you start to see them separate and you see those lines of separation. And then you have them get their ruler out, and daily they're measuring their different layers and they're writing it down and seeing how math can apply not just in the classroom, but how you can use the ruler and take it outside and go ahead and, who would have thought, go out and measure the dirt. And just giving them those ideas and skills that you can take math outside the classroom.
Starting off with Pirate Camp, did it start off the same way? Did you go pick up a big box from PCS or was that already in the classroom?
Yeah, I acquired Pirate Camp the same way I acquired the other camps. I actually picked up, I want to say it was 4, maybe 5 camps from PCS Adventures. And I was filled to the brim and had to move my kids around a little bit because I had to put some boxes in the back seat. Got back to the classroom, opened them all up. It's like Christmas morning, getting to see all the materials. And I'm like, oh yes, more rulers. You get excited about all the little, man, I love these little collection cups and I'm going to use these again and again, and taking all the stuff out, looking what there was, what plies go with what activity, and then bundling them all back up and labeling them for when we did the pirate camp.
And did you follow the teaching guide pretty closely, or did you adapt anything? Tell me about how you actually implemented it.
So when we initially got the pirate camp, it was going to be implemented in a summer program, much like my dirt camp was. But I can't remember, there was a scheduling conflict or something happened and we had to pare one down. So we decided to pair off pirate camp to implement in school and in my after school primetime program instead. We do usually yearly STEM nights with a family focus. And we thought, how about doing a STEM night with pirate camp? When we had the Love and Logic with Kim Cross, she came up and hosted a parent night, so where she could do a seminar with the parents, and while the parents did the meet and greet parent get together with Kim Cross, my STEM ambassadors and myself, we hosted a STEM night with the pirate camp, and the kids got to go around and build their boats and create their flags and make a map, and we made this big pirate night of it with eye patches and hooks and parrots and everything.
I bet they loved that. That was
Yes.
a win-win for parents and kids,
Yes.
it sounds like. Talk to me about some of those aha moments that those kids had. I bet they were loving that, making their maps and everything. Tell me about what was the most engaging activity that they did.
We had teachers doing stations of activities from the pirate camp. They kind of all did their own modified spin to them, just slightly based upon what they were comfortable with. So the catapults, trebuchet type thing, the kids always love doing those and getting them to really, okay, here's your materials. How are you going to put this together? Get them to think about the engineering design process, going through that. I think kids, they really like it. Plus, who doesn't like launching, something across the room, even if it's small? I didn't get to walk around too much because I was doing the boats with the washers. But what I did get to go and peek around, the kids, when they were making their pirate flags and their little maps and stuff, and seeing their little creative wheels going and what they thought and what they put into it and their own little spin and their personalities coming out. That was the part that I enjoyed the most. They weren't collaborating with other peers, but you got to see who they thought they were and get their imagination and their creativity and see them as an individual a little bit more than working with a team and making a boat or making a trebuchet type thing.
So with this particular program, what do you think some of those lifelong skills are?
With the pirate camp, I saw a lot of the same things as I mentioned with the dirt camp, but kids just getting to be kids and having an imagination. We were just talking about it the other day. Man, you don't see kids with casts on anymore because the kids aren't getting out and just imagining and walking the plank and taking those little adventures to the next level. The imagination and the creativity that went into the pirate camp, I enjoyed a little bit more, and letting their imagination wander, getting some new ideas or making a spin on a previous idea and getting them just thinking outside the box was probably one of my favorite things.
What would you recommend to other colleagues that are trying to implement more STEM into their classrooms?
One great thing with PCS Adventures, their kits and everything, it is open it up. You are ready to go. Everything is streamlined out there. They put out the steps really well. And if you're not that familiar with the dirt and soil and what's beneath your feet, or you're not familiar with, the open waters of the Daring Sea of Pirate Adventures, it's okay. Everything is spelled out for you. Everything is there for you. You can apply it in your classroom. You can apply it in after school programs. You can do it in a one big chunk week or two long summer camp. Like with the dirt camp, you're on soil science and you're on life cycle stuff in your science classroom, and you have something that you can utilize over a month, 2 months, and work with your kids on. So it's a great thing. You don't have to be a STEM teacher. You don't have to be a science teacher. You don't have to have a lot of background knowledge in any of the STEM fields. Everything's laid out for you. You can rock it no matter what you do.
Is there anything that I haven't asked that you would like to add based on your experiences with STEM implementation, or regarding the dirt camp and pirate camp specifically, or just STEM in general?
I just wanted to add with the dirt camp, when I did add in couch potato, and we incorporated in with our gardening club and with our agriculture theme, because we had plants growing in the hallway. We had chicks being raised in the classroom. We had everything going on. And we always try to have that growth mindset going too. And those books, the Couch Potato, the Sour Grape, the Smart Cookie, all that series of books, I was like, you know what? We're Idaho. We're potatoes. Let's read Couch Potato. We talked about how the potatoes grow in dirt, how you plant them, what they do. And the older kids created cardboard couches. The younger kids created Lego couches. And then we had all kinds of fingerling potatoes and baby red potatoes and big russets sitting on these made up scaled couches in the hallway with the book. And everybody read the book. We all talked about how we got to put our screens down. Don't be that anxious generation that we're getting to be, and get out there and have fun, get dirty, plant what you want to plant, dig in the dirt, see what you can find. The kids seeing those couch potatoes in the hallway on a daily basis for a few weeks, it might have made them take it to heart a little bit about getting outside more and playing, imagining.
I am glad you brought that up because I saw those pictures and they are so cute. Are they real potatoes that you used?
Yeah, because my goal was at our STEM night for that parent night was the kids got to take their potatoes home. I wrote up these on how you could plant the potatoes in a 5-gallon bucket and take them home and harvest them later. So the kids took their potato home that they decorated with googly eyes and toothpicks and everything, and they could cut it in half and plant it at home if they wanted to.
A big thanks to Sarah for sharing her story and how she implemented the Dirt Camp and Pirate Camp programs. To listen to more stories from educators like you, visit adventures.com/spotlight. That's EDVENTURES.com/spotlight.